All right, we're back for another week of motivation, and we're continuing on with our themes from Finish. So it's a book by Jon Acuff. He outlines a whole bunch of different ways to not just start your goals strong, but be able to actually see your goals through and get to the finish. So today our topic is hiding places and noble obstacles. I love this one. It was an eye-opener for me when I started reading it, but it was more than that. It was like verification of everything that I had thought about these things and heard of them before in the past. Validation, I should say. And more motivation to get rid of them. So bringing things to your attention helps you to focus on them enough that you can then decide whether you want to keep it or get rid of it. In my case, I want to get rid of these two things, hiding places and noble obstacles. These are going to keep you from reaching your goals. So I'm going to start with a quote. He says, "When we dare to focus, 1,000 other things beg for our attention." Isn't that true? I mean, sometimes, like, I'll try to go to sleep at night and I'll be in my bed and I'll be laying down, and I'm relaxing. And then I'm like, oh, that's something I forgot to do. Okay, I gotta put them in this tomorrow. All right, that's okay, I'll go to sleep. All right, oh crap, that's one more thing I forgot about. Okay. All right, that's one more thing I forgot about and I gotta get to first thing in the morning. Or same thing, first thing in the morning when my alarm goes off, we get up at 3:30 in the morning. It's insane, it is not natural. And it's not easy either, even after we're getting like 9 months on this, since we started switching Jacob's schedule to getting up at 3:30 instead of 4:30 or 5. And it is rough. So in the mornings, I want to hit the snooze button. I want to go back to sleep. I don't want to get up and get dressed and get started. I definitely don't want to exercise or do work and stuff. If I'm going to be up, I'd rather just like lounge and do nothing. But a lot of times what I'll do is start making that mental list of things I need to get done that I haven't gotten done, that I forgot yesterday, or that, got pushed for last on the back burner or whatever. And that makes me want to get up because I know how much I have not gotten done and I really should get to that day. Perfectionism offers two major distractions. The first one is the hiding places, and the second one is noble excuses. Both are toxic to your ability to finish, but what are they? Well, a hiding place is a safe place you go to hide from the fear of messing up. They make you feel like you're being successful, but really you're just avoiding your goal. And the second one, the noble obstacles, is a virtuous sounding reason for not getting to work. Hiding places, there are two different kinds. The first one is just unproductive traps. That's like turning on Netflix, just scrolling through Facebook. What else do you do that is just wasting time? I don't know, if you're looking at magazines or something, like things that are just flat time wasters. Checking email 15 times a day, that's a hiding place, and it's usually very obvious. Anybody who sits down with you and watches you do what you're supposed to be doing will be able to say, that's a time waster, that's a hiding place. They're pretty straightforward. The second one, though, is a little bit more devious. It's something that looks like productivity. I tried to keep all my examples today in line with what we're doing in this group, but there are lots of other ones, so feel free to think outside the box and notice other ones that you're doing or friends are doing or that I'm doing that don't necessarily fit into the health and fitness, parenting, homemaking kind of category. Excuse me. But it's something like, the example that popped out to me was cleaning the refrigerator out before you can start to make dinner. Is cleaning the refrigerator actually helping you get to your goal of making dinner? Probably not. It's kind of, sort of, a little bit related, but it's not directly related. Pulling out the food you have to use, that is directly related to making dinner. But if you're just cleaning out the fridge because you want to postpone making dinner, like as an excuse, then that's one of the hiding places. It makes you feel like you're doing something good, and sometimes, it really is a good thing to do. But is it a better thing to do or a best thing to do? Probably not, especially if it's not directly related to your end goal. So it makes you feel like you're doing really well, but you're actually not making progress towards where you want to be. If you're going to finish your goal, you have to recognize and avoid these these hiding places. And so there are 3 questions that Jon Acuff offers to help you identify your hiding places. The first one is, do you find yourself going there accidentally? And the whole book, he makes me laugh because the way he writes is just funny. Like he talks about, you would never accidentally start to exercise. So if you turn on the TV and you intend to go watch something on Netflix, you wouldn't like accidentally hit the Beachbody On Demand app, right? But the reverse happens all the time. So you get to the TV, you're gonna press play, you're motivated, you're gonna rock it. You get on there and you're like, oh, shiny. And then you hit the wrong app, you go to Netflix or the news one or whatever else you wanna see. And then a few minutes later, you're like, oh wait, I was supposed to be exercising. So if you find yourself going there accidentally, that's a hiding place. If you go to turn on your phone and you just automatically go to the same app every time, that is one of the places you're hiding. So the first question is, are you going there accidentally? The second question is what you're working on directly in line with what your end goal is, or is it disconnected by a few steps, and you have to use some creativity to explain it. So like doing your meal prepping and meal planning, that is directly related to weight loss, right? If your goal in this group is to lose 20 pounds, you need to be meal prepping and meal planning. That is directly related. But here's one of my examples. Let's say that you're gonna go start exercising, right? And you find that when you have to mix your Energize, because I like to use the Energize, you're gonna take this thing out of the pantry, put it on the countertop, you're gonna put it in your water, you're gonna shake it up, you're gonna drink it, you're gonna go press play. But when you go to get the stuff out of the pantry, you notice there's mail on the countertop. So you start sorting through the mail. Well, now you're sorting through the mail, you're not exercising. Is sorting the mail related to exercising? No, not directly. But the mail was in the way, right? So you're like being helpful, you're being productive, you're doing something good. No, that is a hiding place. That is procrastination. That is not going to exercise. Put the mail down, drink the stuff, and go exercise. That's a hiding place. The third question is, what do your friends think? One of the things I love about this group is that we can be open and honest and transparent and helpful to each other. Whether you're a coach or not, I would love to hear more about your daily stuff, what you're doing, and this is an excellent time to do it. So what would your friends think about something you're doing? Is it a hiding place or is it not? If you're not sure, ask us, or ask your spouse, or ask your best friend, or ask the neighbor across the street, or whoever is in your inner circle. Ask them, and they can give you an unbiased opinion, and then you can go from there. So those are the 3 questions you can use to identify your hiding places. Once you identify the hiding places, then you can take the time, the energy, and the money that you were spending on those hiding places and reinvest it, reallocate it to your actual goals. So I don't know, I couldn't think of an example with money, but like if you're overspending on something that's frivolous, and you realize that frivolous thing is a hiding place, take that money and put it back into whatever your actual goal is. The mail, for example, that's a hiding place. I don't have to sort the mail before I get working. I could, if it's in the way, I can scoop it up and just move it onto the place where it's supposed to be because it doesn't belong in the kitchen anyway. Walk away and take that time and actually get moving with my exercise. And then when I'm done, I'll have extra time left over, right? So I can use that time then for something that works towards my goal, or then I can sort the mail without having delayed my actual movement towards my goal. What things are not hiding places? This is really, really important because all of us in here have more responsibilities than just being part of this group, than just getting fit. If you didn't, you wouldn't need this group, right? So what things are not hiding places? Well, one thing for sure is your job. If you have a day job, if you have something you're paid to do outside of staying home with your kids, that is not a hiding place. I mean, you could use it as one, like it could become an excuse, but that's not naturally a hiding place. You have to invest time and energy and resources in your job. So if you're doing that and you're actually on the ball, it's not a hiding place. Your spouse. Your spouse is not a hiding place. Taking care of them, spending time with them, going on dates and stuff, that is not a hiding place. Your kids are not a hiding place. Even if you're like me and you stay home full time with your kids, investing in the time to play with them and do things that they love, that is not a hiding place. Taking them to the swim lessons or the gymnastics or the dance lessons or recitals or whatever else, those are not hiding places. And they can become excuses. They can become roadblocks if you're not careful, but that's not what we're talking about today. And then the last one that he mentions is your health. Now, we're all here because we want to be healthier, mentally, physically, emotionally, we want to be healthier. So this is not a hiding place either. And if you have goals outside of health and fitness, don't come here to hide. Don't just like mindlessly scroll through our group so you can delay doing something else that's really important. That would not be helpful for your lifestyle. Come here, connect, get your bucket filled, do your Shakeology and your exercise, and check in, and then move on with your life, because this should not be a hiding place either. And then I'm going to wrap up the hiding places with another quote. He says, "The peace hiding places give you is a false one. They don't protect you. Instead, they keep you from reaching your goals. So you want to get rid of them." And, you know, sometimes the places you're putting your energy now can become your goals later. And that's the solution. So you can turn these hiding place weaknesses into strengths. You can use those new goals, those new ideas, those shiny little things that you're being distracted with right now. You can use those as an incentive to move forward on your current goal. Because once you reach the finish line, you're going to need something else to jump into, right? So take those shiny, exciting things that are distracting you right now and don't ignore them. Take them, love them, package them up, and put them just on the other side of the finish line so that you can stay focused on what you're doing now. So, bad analogy time, or an example from my life. I'm sitting right next to my sewing room. This is like the best lighting in my house right now. Actually, there's a storm going on outside. There's no sunlight, and none of my light bulbs are very bright. But so I'm right next to my sewing room. I have 2 projects on my shelf waiting to be finished. So I finished my boys' costumes for Disneyland, and I'm taking a little break because those are big projects. And I wanted to finish a couple of small ones. So a few months ago, I promised my 3-year-old that I would make her a pink nightgown. It has little ruffles and it's pretty. It should be a really simple, quick project. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it this weekend. I got all the supplies ready, and then I ran into a really big, frustrating roadblock because I'm using it as an excuse to learn my new serger, my inherited serger. So I've never done this technique before, but there's one seam I just cannot get right. And I spent hours on it last week on this one seam, and I got frustrated. And the next day was Sunday, and I was getting ready for church, and I was like, oh, I would love to wear this blouse that I just got a few weeks ago, but I don't have a skirt that goes with it. I should sew a new skirt for myself. That would be so great. It'll be so easy on the serger. And I went through the process in my head, and I was like, yeah, it'd be so easy. No problem. I can knock that out in a couple of hours. No issues. And then I can wear it to church with my new blouse, and that would look so cute. But then I was like, oh, wait, I still have that nightgown to finish up. Well, ding, light bulb. I have that. I got all the supplies for it. It is all of it sitting there on the shelf, a nice little package. It is waiting for as soon as I finish my daughter's nightgown. So it is the next goal. And every time I think about, I don't want to sew right now because I don't have the solution for that one seam, I'm like, well, but I really want to get to that skirt. So I got to troubleshoot, I got to figure it out. And actually, after I'm finished with this video, I'm going to go right in there. I'm going to start doing some sewing and figure out that one seam so I can move on and get to the next shiny thing that is currently distracting me from my other sewing goals. And I use sewing as an excuse for my health and fitness goals because I don't ever want to press play. I don't look forward to the exercise. I only like it after I'm done. And then I'm like, yeah, I feel great. I feel strong. So when I start to procrastinate, I think, okay, what do I want to do when I'm done? Which is usually something like a hobby, like sewing or drawing or, playing a game with my kids. And then I use that as the shiny thing at the end of the finish line so that once I finish, when I turn off the TV and I get my recover, I can move on and do something else that's fun and meaningful for me. So take your shiny new idea, the things that are distracting you, the things you would rather be doing instead of being productive on this goal, and put it at the end of the finish line so that when you reach the finish line, you can move on and be excited about the next big thing. So then we can move on to the noble obstacle. That's the second major distraction that perfectionism will throw at us when we decide to get started. So a noble obstacle is things that, how did I phrase it before? It was a virtuous sounding reason or excuse for not getting started. This one is big because it can be really emotional. It can really cause some upsets and maybe even rifts in friendships and stuff if you're leaning into these noble excuses and never getting started towards the things that you want to do. So I'm going to take this a little bit slowly, and I hope you're not offended, but I'm going to get real. So you cannot move forward. There are two different types of noble excuses. The first one is until. You cannot move forward with your goal until something else is done, which sounds really good. It sounds like you're trying to be responsible and organized, and it sounds like you're trying to do the right thing and do it in order, not put the cart before the horse. But don't fool yourself. This is still an excuse. It is still a distraction. It is still keeping you from getting to your goals. Think about your goal. Think about what you would like to get done before you actually start for real. Like, what do you have to do beforehand? And is it holding you up? It shouldn't be holding you up, because if it really is, then you should change your goal to doing the first thing. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Some examples. Well, I don't have anything healthy in my house right now, so I can't eat healthy anyway, so I can't start eating healthy until I go to the grocery store, or until payday, because I can't go to the grocery store until payday. I can't make better choices because I ran out of Shakeology, and that means I have these cravings, so I can't eat better until I get my next Shakeology bag. You know, I can't eat healthy until I eat all the junk food in my house, because that would be a waste of money, right? No, it's really a waste of calories, but that's a whole different subject for a whole different day. So until often wears a cloak of responsibility. This is a quote from the book. Until often wears a cloak of responsibility. It pretends it's not about being lazy, but rather about making sure everything is in order before you start. If we believe we have to eliminate all distractions before we get work done, we will never work. That's so true, isn't it? Okay, continuing the quote. There will always be one or more amazing distractions. Our minds will do anything to avoid the challenge of focusing on something. Therefore, the second you hear the word until come out of your mouth, spit it out like Brussels sprouts that have been served without bacon. I thought that was particularly funny, especially if you were part of the 2B Mindset and have tried Alana's Brussels with bacon recipe. Pretty yummy stuff, but if served without bacon, Brussels sprouts are not that tasty. So spit it out, spit out that word until, and reevaluate what you just said and see if you really can get started or if you're just using it as an excuse. The second noble obstacle is that if you believe or you say that reaching your goal could actually produce bad results or turn you into a bad person. This one hits so close to home because this is what I used to do. I used to do this all the time. So for example, I'm a health and fitness coach, right? I'm here, I'm leading this group. I have invited a lot of you and you accepted the challenge and your lives are changing and this is good, right? There is nothing bad that could come from me having a business, helping people to reach their goals, right? But for years, and I'm talking like 5 years, I put off doing it because I was worried that if I became a coach, then I would neglect my kids. The truth is so far from that, because I am a coach and I'm filling my bucket every day by serving all of you, I am therefore a better parent. I have more patience, I am healthier, I am mentally feeling better, I am more prepared to help my kids, and that is just an excuse that I was feeding to myself. It was a noble obstacle, and I thought I was doing the right thing, but I was deceiving myself. It is not true. So another quote from the book, he says, you know you're using an if-then noble obstacle if you are only offering yourself two extreme options. There is no in-between. If you're telling yourself there's no in-between, then you are using a noble excuse. So the quote goes on, perfectionism has no sense of gray. Things are only black or white. You have to do it perfectly or you don't do it at all. That is like the number one lie of perfectionism, right? Do it perfectly or not at all. Go big or go home. We talked about that weeks ago. And it is just an obstacle. You're just lying to yourself, or perfectionism is lying to you and you're believing it. So the solution to these noble excuses, noble obstacles, is that instead of giving in to them, you got to stack the deck in your favor. And these are really simple things to do, right? So with exercise, health and fitness, things like Alana says with the Tube of Mindset, putting vegetables where you can see them first in the refrigerator on that eye level shelf. It's almost like cheating, right? And if it sounds like cheating, you're probably doing it right. Laying out your exercise clothes the night before so that when you get up in the morning, they're right there and ready to put on without even thinking about it. You just do it, just create a habit out of it. Go down to your exercise space and exercise. Or even sleeping in your exercise clothes is an option that some people do, especially if they're really, really short on time in the mornings. Having Shakeology for breakfast because it's so easy. And you don't have to cook anything. You don't have to wash any dishes except for rinsing out the blender or the shaker cup when you get to work or whatever. You know, little things like that. I had a whole list. Oh yeah, planning your most important tasks or jobs or responsibilities for in the morning when you're fresh and you're happy, and leaving all the busy work and things you don't really have to think about when you're doing it for in the afternoon and evening. Buying 2 of your baby's favorite toys so that when one is being washed, the baby has no excuse or no reason to cry and scream and moan about it. I also heard of some parents buying 2 of their kids' baby blankets for the same reasons. That when one's in the wash, then they have the second one as backup, or if they lose one or whatever. Making sure you have all the tools you need to actually reach your goal. And I was thinking of Tiffany Keith when I came up with this idea, because a couple of days ago she said she was gonna have her Shakeology, but her blender was dirty and her shaker cup was dirty, and so she had to find a third solution, and she ended up using a mason jar. So kudos to you, Tiffany, for not using that as an excuse. But what if you had 2 shaker cups? It would make things a lot easier, right? We actually have 10 shaker cups, so we have no excuses because we got a whole bunch of them, so that if a couple are dirty, we don't have to even worry about doing the dishes first. We just still get what we need, and then after we're done reaching the goal, we can go back and wash the dishes and make sure we're ready for the next time. Making sure you have 8 sports bras. That was like a mind-blowing moment one day when my husband was like, I only had like 3 or 4 sports bras after one of my babies was born, because shapes change and stuff. And he's like, Amber, go out and get some more sports bras because that's holding you up. You're not exercising because you're having to do laundry too often. Like, you run out of clothes, you can't do laundry, so you can't exercise. That's dumb. So just go get more sports bras and then you can exercise. You don't need, even if you're out of t-shirts, as long as you have the sports bra on, you can exercise, right? So go get more. Mind blown, right? And it took away my excuses. 2 pairs of sneakers. Sometimes, I only have 1 pair of sneakers, to be honest, but sometimes I'll do things like go for a hike where I wear my sneakers, and they get all dirty and gross, and then come back, and I'm tired when I get home, and I forget to wash them. So the next day I'm like, I don't really want to put this on to exercise. I want to wash them first. Can I do it barefoot or not? If I can't, then it becomes an excuse. If I can go barefoot, that's fine. But otherwise, I have to wash my shoes. So maybe having 2 pairs of sneakers instead, or 2 favorite really short workouts for when you're really, really, really crunched for time and it's like midnight and you haven't exercised yet and you could do something for 16 minutes. Okay, perfect. Pop that in, do it, and then go to bed. Just get rid of the excuses. Stack the deck in your favor. So I'm going to wrap up that section with another quote. John Acuff says, perfectionism always makes things harder and more complicated. But finishers, that's who we want to be. Finishers make things easier and simpler. So if you want it done, aim for simple. I love that. We've been trying to do that for years and years and years. And every time that I get more reassurance that that's the way to go about things, it makes me happy. And I swear it's true. Let's see. I think one last quote and then some exercises for you to do. So last quote. Solutions for both hiding places and noble excuses. Perfectionism will tell you you've spent so long in your hiding places that there's no more time. You've missed some magical window. Your opportunity is gone. The chance has passed. But that is ridiculous, isn't it? I can't tell you how many goals I thought I had moved past that magical window of opportunity. Even within the same day, there have been lots of times with my kids, especially when they were little, where I would wake up and think, okay, I've got to exercise now or I can't do it for the rest of the day. And then, a few hours later, there would be some downtime. So I would, get into the zone. I want to exercise. And then the time would pass and I'd think, well, dang it, I missed my chance. Now I'm not gonna be able to exercise for the whole rest of the day. And then, lo and behold, nap time comes around. There's another chance. But if I procrastinate, I miss the opportunity, and so if you just don't be closed-minded, You never lose the opportunity to get better and to make progress and to try again. That is what life is all about. Trying again, getting better along the way, learning from our mistakes, and moving forward, setting goals and trying to reach them. And if we fail, then we just learn something and move on, get up and try again, and then try again, and then try again. That's why we're here. That's why we have this group, and that's why I wanted to really hit this book hard, because everyone gives up too easily, too often. You have not missed the mark. You have not lost the opportunity. There is still time. It is never now or never. So if you feel like that, then start giving yourself a pep talk, or start this video again from the beginning, and I'll tell you again, you have not missed your chance. Just keep trying. So your homework for this week is to ask yourself the 3 questions that identify hiding places, and I'll give you a little review here. The first one was, do you find yourself going, or where do you find yourself going accidentally? That's a hiding place. The second one is what you're doing, what you're actually working on directly related to your end goal, or is it somewhat removed and you have to kind of be creative to connect the two? If it is, that's a hiding place. The third one is to ask a friend, and you can just post it here. We'll be your friends and we'll tell you what we think. Or ask someone who's physically close to you, lives with you, sees what you do every day. Either way. The second step for homework this week is to share where your hiding places are once you discover them. No judgment, I promise, we all have them. The third one is to start creating a list of next goals, the shiny stuff that's distracting you. So you have something you can put at the end of your finish line, the one you're currently working on, and then you can move on from there. And move on to the next things. The fourth step in your homework this week is to simplify the main goal you're working on, at least in one way. And the fifth one, there are 2 more steps. The fifth one is to admit and eliminate side goals. So just obvious distractions, things that, along the lines of the shiny that's taking your attention away, eliminate those, move them, get them out of your way. And the last one is to ask a friend, or us, what he or she thinks of your noble obstacles. Like, which ones they think they can identify for you. I'm sorry this is really long, but it was full of passion and hopefully a lot of value for you. So I hope you took the time to listen to it and think hard about the examples in your life. Where are you hiding, and what are your noble excuses? Let's get rid of those things so we can move on towards our goals and get to the finish line, move on to the next thing, and just keep getting better every single day and every step along the way. All right, I love you all. Have a fantastic Monday.